And we're back after a very confusing back and forth between Steven Jacobs and Massimiliano Santoro.
Yeah, I feel
And
really.
the big question was, did Massimiliano throw it away?
I thought he could just. So he had Gaia Charger, Dark Destroyer, and a pilot. He could attack the Dark Destroyer over the Majesty's Fiend.
Right.
Because there was it's not like Domain was going to boost it or anything.
Yeah, there was
it's only when Majesty's Fiend attacks.
Yeah.
That's 600 damage. Gaia charges 26. That's 36, and then he can banish the
tin can.
Banish the tin can for a ship.
Yeah.
And that's 626 plus the 36 plus the.
It's definitely better than saying, "Okay, you win."
Yeah, exactly.
Like the move we saw was definitely not the correct move. That. It was also one of the most confusing matches that we've seen this weekend.
Yeah.
The first game was dominated by Monarchs doing what Monarchs do. Lots of searching, lots of improve my hand, and so on and so on, until Steven had everything he needed. The second game, Massimiliano went first, just came up with a gigantic combo.
Yeah, that's what his deck was intends to do.
Yeah, so there was like a Cyber Dragon Infinity among some other options.
Yeah, Dark Lady.
Did have an Effect Veiler in hand for good measure.
Yeah, it was Infinity, Dark Lady, Cosmojo, and Effect Veiler in hand.
Yeah, it was clearly overkill. And Steven didn't even try. I think he made 0 moves. He was like, yeah, that looks pretty good. Screenshot that, and then let's move on with the third game.
Yeah.
Didn't waste any time, and then the third game was a roller coaster right back and forth.
Yeah.
With Massimiliano being completely locked out of the game thanks to an early Majesty's Fiend for Steven. Looked like it would go down. Steven would just win over the course of 4 turns.
Yeah.
Eventually, Massimiliano found a way to send a Hangerback Walker to his graveyard, bring it back with Call, get rid of both monsters that way, and open up some plays. And turn it into more plays,
Yeah. It was absolutely backwards and forwards, though, during just those few turns of time.
Right. We are going to talk to Steven. Let's bring him in and ask him a couple of questions about that game, because it was such a back and forth. I think he can tell us what happened on the table itself, because it was a bit confusing to make sense of it all. So let's bring in Steven. We're going to be right back, guys.
Long ago in ancient times, a sacred game was played of both spirit and mind. 7 items hold the mystery, puzzle alive, ring rod, scale, and key. Who will make the final stand and make the move? The answer lies in your hand. And whether you win or lose, hangs in the balance with your card you choose. Trust in the heart, let down the heart of the coward battlefield. Remember to trust in the heart of the coward. Time to duel. Long ago in ancient times, sacred games played on both spirit and mind. 7 items hold the mystery, just trust in the heart of the
Hello, guys, and welcome back to YCS Rimini 2016. I'm here with Steven Jacobs.
Hi.
Hello, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
your win. That was a crazy game.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how many stress you have if you sit like on the feature match table. It's unbelievable. You can't describe how many.
That's a point that a good point that me and Ollie talk about all the time. People are sat there in chat going, "Oh, should have done this" and all this kind of stuff. But when you're actually sat there, like these guys are just watching you play.
That's true.
But when they know all the cards in both players' hands,
indeed.
you're actually sat there,
Correct.
and it's just like terrifying.
That's true.
Yeah.
If you're watching at home, you're like, no, you should have done that. But if you're actually sitting at the feature match table with like people watching, the judges around the table, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's scary.
No,
it's scary.
Indeed.
Yeah. I mean, we try our best to kind of make you feel like it's okay. All the judges are really friendly and all that kind of stuff. But it's at the end of the day, you're sat on a single table, not surrounded by a bunch of other people playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's terrifying to think there is a lot of people watching. Okay, so I spoke to you before the event. You just said, "Oh, I just decided to play this deck because
Domain, yeah.
because I'm working on the next format
Yeah,
and
yeah.
whatever." But you've got so far with it.
Yeah, I was playing Exceed first, the Exceed version of Monarchs, but with like Burning Abyss, Blue Eyes, all decks, Pendulums, all decks use their extra deck. So I think Domain is maybe the best deck. But yeah, Breaking is very much alive with the deck.
Yeah.
But yeah, Domain is very, very strong, and that's why I picked Domain build.
Yeah, I mean, so as far as those games are concerned, the first game we saw was like the first and second game were just dominated either way.
Yeah,
like,
indeed.
You can't really do anything to Infinity, Dark Lady.
Yeah,
you had
correct.
Cosmojo as well.
Okay, yeah, that I didn't know.
And Vela in
wow.
hand.
Okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
it was
completely outplayed.
Yeah, even just Infinity Dark Lady is what you
wasn't-
saw.
Yeah.
But you didn't see
Yeah,
he had
indeed.
Cosmojo
Yeah.
and Effect Vela.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, it was absolute. Just,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But you did exactly the same with just put His Majesty's Fiend.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, game 3, I was thinking when I had the Majesty's Fiend on the field and I was constantly poking, he had one set, and I was thinking, if it's a warning or a strike and I summon Erebus, I probably lose. So I just keep bashing with the Majesty's Fiend, but eventually it was a call, well, what I feared as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
it was really weird
decisions.
because the thing with Cosmo is you can gain a lot of traction from not a lot of monsters.
Yeah.
Even if you just get a big ship on the field,
correct.
it just
Yeah, indeed.
floats forever, right?
He was also playing the Fire King build, so he can go like with one ship in the hand, he can spam his field full of monsters.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. But that's what I'm saying. Even if he'd have been able to just put something in the graveyard, which eventually he did, he got Landwalkers.
Yeah,
the graveyard
exactly.
To be able to get past the Majesty's
Yeah.
Fiend.
Yeah.
There was all sorts of crazy things in that game. I think both of you had so many options during that game. It wasn't like here's a problem and then you've got to solve it.
Yeah.
Like both of you weren't kind of. It was so kind of interactive in how you were playing. It wasn't it wasn't like you see with the Pendulum decks where it's just here's my board. Can you break it?
Can you
Yes.
break it or
Okay,
not?
I've lost. It was really okay. Here's a bit of strength. Okay, I'm going to beat it, and I'm going to beat. Just backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
So talk us through some of the options when you side decked. Actually for the second game, did you just stick in basically all the fiends and hope?
I sided 2 Majesties, the Maxis as well, and 1 Twin Twister, and that should be it, I think. Yeah, the Maxis, the Vanities, and the Twin Twister.
I was so excited to see March of the Monarchs, because if you'd had March of the Monarchs with Vanities, that would have been hilarious.
I rarely side March because of if your opponent has like Mask of Restrict, March doesn't do anything. You would rather want to have the Twin Twister instead. So rarely I side March.
Yeah. So we as we were watching the game, I was talking through basically all the plays that you wouldn't be able to make if it was the next list.
Yeah. The deck is completely correct. I tried playtesting a little bit, but it's definitely not the same. Only 1 Pantheism, 1 Stormfort.
Yeah, I mean, if you like almost all of the plays that you made to kind of advance your game were, oh, here's another Stormforth, or oh, here's multiple Ethers.
Yeah,
like,
indeed.
Yeah, you had Ether, summon Ether. That's not going to be possible again.
Not possible anymore. Yeah.
Same with Stormforth. You're not going to be able to guarantee Stormforth.
Exactly.
Again.
Now Allure is at 3, so you can play Allure, maybe trade in for some speed.
That
but
was
still, it's
that was my thinking. Actually, I've not spoke about that too much. Giving little tips how to speed Monarchs up. They don't need it right now. Yeah. But I guess you could go ahead with having trade-ins. You still got the Erebus who can recycle your Monarchs.
Exactly.
Triple Allure is totally fine. We saw Matthew Carmelo from Australia, the World Championships. He did that to try and solve the issues with Monarchs. He also played a Pot of Duality. How do you feel about Pot of Duality in Monarchs?
I was thinking about it, especially for the new list, Duality, like Allure Trade-in.
He didn't play Edia. He only didn't play Edia.
That's
only,
the
only
3
Eidos.
Eidos. It's definitely possible, since with 3 Aether, you can play during your opponent's turn as well, so with the special summon. But I'm not sure about Duality, but I haven't tested it out, so I can't tell about consistency.
Yeah.
But it's definitely an option.
It's great right now.
It's definitely an option, definitely.
Yeah. I like how you didn't use one of our official sheets and you decided to write extra deck 0 right next to it.
Because when we went by plane, we took the plane and I had like one sheet with me, and I just wrote it down very quickly.
Yeah. I'm going to be at the beach by round 4. Let's just quickly write it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so what new decks? Looking, you always the kind of the innovator looking at new decks.
Yeah. New support. It's fun to try out new support and when
so
the cards are released.
Which one of the new decks, like Metal Foes, Cyber Angels? Which one are you leaning towards?
I think Metal Foes, since they are getting extra support in the next sets, and now they are okay, but they heavily rely on like the Avian, Unicorn, Magic Spectre Unicorn, to just have like a big
other
board.
pendulum engines. Yeah.
But when they get like the quick play fusion spell, the 1000 has restrict fusion, and also the new fusion, I think it's level 5 or 6. That's also, I think, destroys a card on the field. I think Metal Foes is definitely one of the better decks coming out soon after the list, of course.
Yeah.
With all the current top tier decks hit.
Yeah. So we've not seen a lot of Blue Eyes at the event this weekend. Why do you think that is? Is it purely because of this deck?
Yeah, exactly. I played against Blue Eyes yesterday in the last round, and it wasn't rather easy match for Monarchs due to Domain, the Storm Fort hitting their Synchro. They need to invest a lot of cards into their field.
Yeah.
But now Blue Eyes is an okay deck, but not against the current top tier decks, but definitely after the ban list when like Cosmo is weaker, Pendulums are somewhat weaker. Blue Eyes definitely is top tier.
Yeah, and I could say the same for ABCs. I was
Exactly.
playing ABCs.
In October, I think.
against the full power Monarch deck just is not so great. It's kind of weird, isn't it? How the meta shifts between. So we have this, and then there's a bunch of decks that aren't really possible right now. As soon as this one goes down, a bunch of decks suddenly raise right up.
Yeah, indeed.
And then again it fluctuates between Blue Eyes and ABCs. It's what we're seeing in the OCG at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so cool. So that leaves you on. Is that 6-1-1?
Yeah,
now?
6-1-1.
Okay,
Yes.
so
all right.
Gotta keep going. I think we were working out because you had. Sorry, I'm pointing over there. This is where we look at our stats. We looked at your record and you had quite high tiebreakers.
Ah, okay.
So you were 56th, 57th place.
I haven't seen it
at the end.
yet.
Yeah. Let's have a quick
okay.
look.
Yeah, 57.
Yeah, 57th place.
Okay.
So that's reasonably high. If you even just a 2-1 might work.
Okay, no stress.
So we'll see. Yeah. So but just don't lose your next one and then run to the beach.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Really, really great job. Yeah, cool deck for this weekend. It was a good choice. Right, guys. So we're going to be back in just a short time with the next feature match at YCS Rimini 2016. We'll see you soon.